The Redskins play down to their opponent, play a shoddy game at parts, have a hard time generating points off their offensive output, but they win anyway. I've seen this one before. You know, the interesting thing about this Redskins team is they also play up to their competition, as well as down. They remind me of the 2005 Jacksonville Jaguars. That team that went 12-4 and got smoked by New England in the divisional round. I'm just saying. I'm calling it like I see it, and that's what this team reminds me of. All negative things to say about Washington aside, because their performance was a little iffy. You can't play the quarterback position much better than Jason Campbell is right now. No turnovers, high completion percentage, makes a couple of big plays, just plays it safe, never takes any unnecessary risks, does what he needs to do to win the game. And you can't play the running back position much better than Portis is right now. He's just throwing himself out there, putting his body on the line for this team. It's great to watch. If Breeze doesn't make the postseason, he's the definite MVP right now. You can't play much better than he is. Moss is back to 2005 form. Ever since 2005, he's been crazy and consistent. This year, he's found some sort of consistency. Randall L. is chipping in with a couple catches a game. Chris Cooley is doing his requisite 6-7 catches a game. Things are just coming together on this offense, and as a Jim Zorn supporter for obvious reasons, I like what I see. Why they can't score many points, I'll have to get back to you on that. I can't answer that one. Lions, I'll say it again. Drew Stanton. I want to see him. I'm not joking, guys. I really want to see me some Drew Stanton. Spirited effort by the Lions. You know, they played up to the Skins, or maybe the Skins played down to them. We'll probably never know. But you know, defensively they generated a lot of pressure, forced that one fumble. Couldn't take advantage of it ultimately. But I like where this Lions team might be headed. Kind of. Bengals, Texans, Andre Johnson, the man beast. Imagine how good his numbers would be right now if Matt Schaub had realized how good he is before Week 5. Because he didn't do anything in Weeks 3 and 4. He'd be heading for an all-time legendary season if only Matt Schaub had found him in Weeks 3 and 4. So he's still headed toward a great season as is. And that's got to be a knock against the Bengals defense, because there's no way Matt Schaub should ever look that good. He only threw 4 incompletions all game. You know, the Cincy defense actually did a decent job against the run. They held down Slayton. Amon Green got some touches and did all right. Just, you know, pretty good. So, you know, I know they've spent those high picks on cornerbacks the last couple of drafts, but you still ask yourself, where is the problem really with this team? How far deep does it go? There's no rhyme or reason to this. You should be able to run for 400 yards on them, and they should be pretty good against the pass. I don't know. Bengals just an all-around mess. I don't know what I can say about them that isn't completely obvious. Except for, I think Chad Johnson and Carson Palmer should just shut down the season and come back next year. Oh, and Houston's in the wild card hunt, believe it or not. If they win next week, remember who told you this? Jacksonville and Cleveland. Oh, my heart sank when Matt Jones dropped that touchdown at the end. It would have been a great ending for Garrard, who over this season has already led 2 game-winning drives against Indy and Houston, who's already come up clutch for this Jacksonville team several times, and he was this close to doing it again, because, you know, Jacksonville, they're a very flawed team this year compared to last year. They can't run it the same. Their interior line is all messed up. Their offensive line as a whole is pretty messed up. You know, they're getting big games out of random wide receivers every week, which Necessarily I don't like that. Usually that means they're getting forced the ball and you never hear from them again, which probably tells you about how good they really are. A lot of good efforts by Gerard going to waste. Defense, I need to see more pass rush out of them. They mortgage their future for draft picks to get pass rushers now. I gotta see more pass rush out of them. And hey, the Browns are 3-4 in a pretty weak AFC. Derek Anderson, he's playing a little better. I still want to see Brady Quinn. I know I sound like I'm a big fan of those quarterback switches. Usually I'm not, but I want to go with what I think gives that team the best chance to win. I don't know if DA is that right now. They win without Kellen Winslow. Jamal Lewis plays a pretty solid game for them. Defensively, Sean Rogers was straight balling. And they got plenty of pressure on Gerard. Stuffed the run. Maybe they're just a late bloomer. We'll see. We'll find out soon enough. Giants Steelers. This was being boosted up as the game of the week, and it ended up being entertaining. You had two big plays by Pittsburgh offensively to get them their scores, and other than that, there was a lot of Ben getting the crap beat out of him. There was a lot of general offensive futility, and the Giants defense just showing why they're still one of the best in the league. And I appreciate this Giants team. I really do, because nobody believed in them last year. They won the Super Bowl. Nobody believes in them this year, and they're 6-1 right now, the best team in the NFC. They could be the first nobody believes in us back-to-back championships since like the Houston Rockets of the mid-90s when they won back-to-back. That's not easy. So, again, great effort by the Giants defense. Getting to Ben, I would put quite a bit of this on Ben. He made some unforgivable throws that got picked off by Butler and somebody else. And he, near the end of the game, the Steelers needed a 2-minute drive, and he looked lost out there. It's not completely his fault, but some of this comes back to him. And if this game ends up hurting Pittsburgh down the line, they'll regret not having Santonio Holmes, because they could have used another receiver out there, another speedy receiver that could have gotten open against the occasionally suspect Giants secondary. So, as for the only other aspect of this game, the Giants offense, sluggish, couldn't cash in the red zone, occasionally a little frustrating, but they got it done when it counted. Couple of big throws by Eli right at the end. The offensive line holding strong and not giving up any sacks, which is beyond huge. And well, the Giants showed that they're still the second best team in the league, and that's the best description I can give of what happened here. And for pure hilarity, you gotta go give the long snap by James Harrison a check. I could have done that. You guys probably already know what I'm talking about. I was so close to hitting a double-digit win week, and then Indianapolis screwed me up. I took them, they looked good for a while, and then the bottom fell out. Offensively, I thought they ran the ball productively. They didn't run the ball really well, but they did it productively. They were getting positive things out of running the ball, even if it was just 3 yards. It's better than what they were getting before. The passing game was a little off, but for the most part, it worked pretty well. They got a couple touchdowns out of it. They got a couple of sizable plays. I will say, if Manning was just like a fraction of an inch more accurate on 2 of those throws, this could have been a blowout. So they still got to get a little bit better. The offensive line, I thought, played well. Defensively, they did a nice job stuffing the run, which we know is very hard for them. They were getting decent pressure on Collins, but Collins was able to get the ball away for completions, not throwing it away. He was completing passes when he was under pressure. And, what are you going to do about that? But at the same time, the Indy defense a little frustrating to watch because they were giving up so many easy completions and short passes and first downs. they gave it their all in this game and it wasn't enough. So what else are you going to say? And you know, in spite of that, I'd like to see some defensive adjustments out of him. Right now it looks to me like Dungy has a 37-cent stamp on his head. But the Titans are the better team, and that's that.